Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Paint Party live stream. I believe this is episode 110 of the live stream. It's so good to have you back in the studio this evening. I apologize that I was a few minutes late. I've been running all day. We are getting a heat wave like much of the country here in the mountains, although our heat wave is probably not as severe as most across the country. So I am sweating this evening with windows open on all ends of the studio, but we will get this done. If you've been here before, you know how this works. This live stream is my Learn to Paint journey. I started teaching myself to paint a couple of years ago, and I meet you here every Monday night to continue that journey and invite you along for the journey. You can participate in the live stream wherever you're watching via the comments on the platform wherever you're watching. So feel free to make comments, to ask questions, or make suggestions as we go along. I enjoy having your interaction as I sit here and paint this evening. Tonight we're doing something a little bit different, so let's jump right in. I'm going to switch you over to this camera, readjust this camera, and we'll get going. All right. Oh, you can see my dirty studio, attic studio. So we will lift the camera a little bit so you can't see all the clutter. Hey there, Lola. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Mom and Dad, welcome. So glad to have you. Thanks for joining. Thanks, everybody, for popping in. Those of you that are popping in. So behind me, you can see on my easel already this painting that I had started several months ago of Mont Saint-Michel in northern France. Let me put up the reference. This has been sitting in my studio since. Oh, whoa, I messed that up. My software has been acting up. I think it's time to get new live stream software. All right, that's Mont Saint-Michel. And this is a couple of different views of the island and of the abbey. So that's what I'll be using as my reference this evening as we paint. I am going back to this because it is quite a large painting, and it's one that's been sitting in my studio, as I said, for several months. And quite honestly, I want it done. I want to get it done, but it just took so much work and was taking so much work. So I'm going to use the opportunity tonight to dive back into this painting. We're going to be doing a lot of detail work tonight, so let me show you what I have planned. First, before I forget, I am going to put on yet another layer of clothing, which is necessary but not enjoyed because it is. I came into my apartment and it was about 84 degrees when I got home this afternoon from a bunch of errands I had to run down the mountain. But it was actually, when I was down in Rapid City, I think it was 97 degrees down there. So it's about 10 degrees cooler up here on the mountain. So it's about 90, 89, 90 degrees, or may have gotten a little warmer today, but it is definitely toasty. So I have all my windows open. So as the temperature drops, the sun's starting to set, and we will have temperature drop significantly in the next hour or two, which will allow me to cool this apartment off. So that is how we survive. All right, let me set up my other camera so that you can see what I'm doing. And what we'll have to do probably is, let's see, what is going on? Oh, I think I'm losing this. I don't know what's going on. This crazy technology. It's wonderful when it works, but when it doesn't, it is a frustration. Okay, what I think I want to do is work on some of this detail work. So I think I'll kind of set this camera to the side. Let me put on my palette camera. All right, and pull my I'm going to bring over my stool. Okay, what we're going to try to do this evening, oops, my stool is sitting right on the cord of my microphone. So many difficulties here. Okay. Let me switch y'all back over here. All right, so you're kind of looking at this sideways, so it's a little skewed. But what you can see here, I'm going to pull my light over and lean this back a little bit, so hopefully you can see what we're doing. You'll notice that I've done a lot of detail work on the buildings over to about here, and some of these still need some detail. But these buildings over on this end of the island look pretty good. And so I want to continue that process across the canvas and just identifying and putting details into the specific buildings across and the walls across the island. And then we'll go up because you can tell this is just a blob of paint. So that's what we're going to try to do, is get a lot of this detail work in. It is just a pretty tedious process, but it is essential, and thus we shall continue to work on it. Okay, so let's look at what we need to do. Man, the heat just drains all my energy. I really want to work on this hotel or whatever this is down here and kind of finalize some of this detail. So let's go here. What we need to do is put some white on my palette, some ultramarine blue, and yeah, we'll just see what we need. Welcome to those of you that are popping into the live stream. Glad to have you join us. You can participate in the comments wherever you're watching. We are doing some detail on this large painting of Mont Saint-Michel in France. And so we are going to continue across the island and hopefully put in some detail around this this side of the island. So let's get started here. Okay, what we want to do is mix a little bit of putting all my browns out here and see what I need. This is one of the real challenges with this type of work, this type of painting. I'm going to put some, because it's so dry, I'm going to spray some water out here, try to keep this. When you have something like this, it's like stonework, and this is also the same when you have something that is like actual like canyon, the sides of a canyon or a ravine or something. It's difficult to do the variations in the rock accurately because yeah, it's just difficult to do variations in the rock. So, and to get them right, and because these walls were primarily made of stone, getting variations and making different ones look closer and further away, and all of that is quite the challenge. So a lot of times it just takes putting paint on the canvas and seeing what pops out. Or what doesn't work, and trying to make slight adjustments as you go. So I'm darkening this a little bit. And the same color, I had done this more, it was more a kind of red-brown, but I like this color, so we will try to do a little more precision work. Architecture is not the easiest thing to render, but it is possible. It is difficult also because this the reference photos are somewhat at a distance. So it's like, okay, let me see what works. I'm going to cover up these windows and redo them because I think I can do them better. I have now a little bit some better brushes that are detail brushes that I can do a little bit better. So we'll do that. Welcome. There's a few more people popping in. Glad to have you join the live stream wherever you're watching. Okay, so we covered up some of that. Now what I want to do is look really closely at the detail. So there is on this side actually The thing is, most people are not going to look that closely. They will not see, most people will not see the detail, but I want to get it as precise as possible so that it, just so it reads correctly. Let me see if I can mix some of this. Kind of a gray color for the roof. Because I wanted to do a little more precise painting on the roof as well. All right, so I like this. What we'll try to do, I want to, these kind of dormers or gables, I guess, that are there. Want to try to make them a little more uniform by kind of carving around them so that looks a little more correct. Now, okay, so we have those. Now what we need to do is take a little bit of a darker tone. Hey there, Bobby. Thank you for joining. This is one I started months and months ago after visiting Europe last year. And this is one I'm doing essentially selfishly for myself. I want to hang it in my living space, but I underestimated the amount of work that it takes to do a painting of this scale effectively. And so I've been working on it, but it's been sitting in my studio for several months, half done. And so I decided to take this opportunity tonight to kind of do a little more work on it. And you can see on the right side here, we have a lot more detail done. So I just need to continue moving across the island that way. So that's what the intent is. It says you've really done a job on that painting. Thank you. I'll be happy when it's done and I can frame it and hang it up. I'm being a little more meticulous with this. I mean, not more, but I'm being meticulous with this because I really want it to... no, I have not done that all in 23 minutes, Bobby. No, this painting is probably 3 feet by 2 feet, so it's very large. This is hours of effort. So thank you very much. I really like it. I've repainted whole ends of this. You can see some of the underpainting here. where I've adjusted things, and but the composition is pretty much the way I want it. Now it's just really refining this detail so that it looks as close to, I mean, people, you would recognize this landmark if you know it. I think it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so um, it's fairly well known. But I want it to really, when I look at it in my living room, I want it to really reflect the feeling that first time I came around the bend and saw Mont Saint-Michel, because it is incredibly, it's like seeing, I imagine, the Statue of Liberty or the Eiffel Tower or some of these large landmarks, Victoria Tower, Elizabeth Tower, Parliament, these kinds of notable landmarks around the world. It is a really unique experience when you start walking towards it and you realize it's like, wow, I'm here, but also it's such an overwhelming edifice that it kind of really, really does take your breath away in some regard. The key is not to do every single detail, but to do enough detail that it really adds to the okay. I think, oh, this is interesting. So there's actually another building here. Interesting. I just realized that there is a building right here. It has a couple of windows. All right, now I want to, this again, this is what I was saying, a slight variation in the color is the difficult to show, because there's barely any difference, but there is a difference. When I get up close to the image, I see it. And again, the average viewer is going to be viewing this from 8 to 10 or more feet away, so they won't notice, but I will notice. So we want to do this. There's like a smokestack there. Then we're going to mix again our little black or dark shadow color with raw umber and ultramarine blue. Gives you a good shadow color, because right on this side then there is a shadow of a like something like a okay. Now I'm going to attempt to put the side of the gable on this lower building. The shadow of the side of the gable. Hey Abby, thank you. So good to see you. Thanks for popping in. This has been a long painting. Been working on it for a long time, but little by little it's getting there. Okay, now what I want to do, right here are two kind of dormer gabled windows. So I'm going to do the edge of the roof, the side of the dormer, the shadow, and then it's in the sun, so we want to do then the window. Again, we want to come roof, side, oops, and window. And that is we'll see if we can get this to read correctly. Basically, that's the shape. Now we need to oh, it's a constant. I just realized you have to think. It's like, okay, what is this actually representing? And I realized this shadow is because of a smokestack that's there, so that is off. It is crooked. It is not correct. So we'll have to go back and kind of edit that, see if we can fix it. Have I done people? I have done a couple of people, not successfully. People are difficult. I do want to be able to do them. That is not the type of painting that draws me, so I probably won't do portraits. Like, that won't be my mainstay. I find that I'm driven a lot to landscapes, and so I'll probably end up doing more landscapes eventually. Actually, that's my next kind of the thing I want to focus on next is a landscape series here in the Black Hills. So that's kind of, but yeah, I haven't done people. People are, I'll show you, I think it's sitting here. Whoops, oh. Yeah, I have piles of unfinished paintings. This is one of the, quote, most successful people I've done. You could tell what she is and that she's a person, but some of the colors and stuff are a little off, but I mean, it's not terrible, but yeah, I would have to do a lot more work with people, so not at this moment. Y'all, I am boiling. I feel like I'm about to just melt onto the floor. It is, I have all my fans on, and it's not that hot, but for us, we have not had any hot weather really yet, so this is our first real hot snap. I am dying, y'all. Not completely, but pretty much. Oh, we'll make it. It's only supposed to be hot for another day, I think, or two, and then it's actually even tomorrow will be a little cooler than it was today, so it'll still be warm, but survivable. No, Bobby, I don't have air conditioning I have a small air conditioner I can put in my bedroom if we were to get prolonged. But typically, because we have no humidity, I live up in the mountains and there's no humidity up here, I can open my windows about 6 p.m. and close them about 6 a.m. and it stays pretty cool. And then it gets down in the 50s and 60s at night, cools down the house. So that's kind of how I manage it. But today it was, like I said, I think probably low to mid 90s. And my apartment got up to, 84. So it's toasty, but I am also upstairs. My studio is upstairs, and so it's probably a good 5 degrees cooler downstairs, but this is where my painting setup is, and I can't really live stream downstairs easily, so I'm just love you too. Have a great evening. I am suffering through it. I live on the west end of South Dakota, near Wyoming border, in the Black Hills of South Dakota. So we're straight north of Denver, Colorado, about 6 hours, and we're about the same altitude. So my town is at a mile high. So we have pretty good altitude, and that helps a lot with keeping it cool. And like I said, we have very low humidity here, so that is a big benefit. I think I'm ruining this more than helping it. Not ruining it, but what do we say? It always gets ugly before it gets prettier. Okay. Now what I think need to do is mix. See if I can fix this. See if I can fix this thing. You know what? I am going to take some artistic license. I am going to lighten this building up so that it clearly stands out. And I'm gonna take that out. I need to, let's see, take it yellow. That's a little. Take a quick cold shower. Yeah, that is very tempting. I do feel the air temperature starting to cool already. The sun's gone down behind the mountain, and I can feel the fan blowing in cooler air. But the problem if I took a cold shower is then I would be quickly back where I started, meaning it would be I'd be hot again. So I just kind of have to wait till I'm complaining a lot, but honestly, it's not bad at all. Especially because it's only usually, a few days of the whole summer. Most of the time, like next week, it's supposed to be highs, I think, upper 70s, low 80s. So most of the country would, and even most of the world would be thrilled for those kinds of temperatures. So I'm gonna quit complaining and be grateful that it only lasts 2 or 3 days. Okay. I think we're slowly getting there. They're starting to reflect what they're supposed to be. All right. I like that. Now we'll do the little bit of shadow. You are absolutely right. Yes. In this weather as well as this climate, because there's no humidity in the air, you know how quick acrylics dry anyway. So yeah, that's one reason I have a spray bottle here. I don't use it. I used to use it often to try to keep my paint and canvas dry, but I've learned to kind of work around that. However, this time it is it is definitely a challenge. That'll be something I'll adjust to when I try to or decide that I'm going to try oils. That's going to be a real interesting challenge. Oh. We will. Now, all right. I think that's now let's do a grayish, brownish, bluish thing. Want to do basically some, where is that? Yellow ochre, raw sienna. Maybe it's raw sienna. I'm going to try to renovate this. We add more blue to put it in the shadow. So then we'll do this side of the hotel and reestablish some of this detail, cover up, because I kind of blocked it in really ugly. So we'll come in and do really kind of ink like that. That's what we'll do. And we'll just keep. We'll cover all this, the windows and stuff, and we'll go back in and just put them in little by little. All right, we'll bring this all the way down to here so that it is so it's definitely in the shadows. Then I'll do the same. I'll add a little bit more blue just so we get a gradient darker, the same exact color basically, for this building. And we'll bring that over straight down. Then we'll have to work on this bit in the shadows, but I'm going to lighten this up and add more blue. So that it is a similar color, but is our roof. Hi, Suzanne. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate the kind words. I've been working on this painting for it's been sitting for several months. I shouldn't say I've been working on it for several months. And so just trying to get some details done on it. This looks too brown. So I need to go a little more blue, because we want it more gray. I want to take it gray, a little more gray. There, maybe that helps, I'm not sure. And this I want to Oops. Oh. Now I want to look very closely. I need a lighter bit of this. Again, we just have to create illusions. So I want to put a beam right about here where it catches the light, because the curve of the roof, and then the sun shining there. Then I want to do there, there, there. And that is the edge of our windows where they stick out, and it catches the light. And then right here, there is a bead where it stands out. Okay, now, and then here, it goes kind of like that. So now what I should be able to do is add the shadow. So again, we'll go back to our ultramarine blue and our raw umber. We'll mix kind of that dark shadow color. Thinning it a little with water just so that it spreads easier. Okay, now I want to be fairly precise when I come in here. You can hear all that noise in the background. That's the motorcycles starting to come into town. The Sturgis Motorcycle Rally, which is a famous motorcycle rally, will be in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And they start coming in anytime between now and then, and they stay almost till the end of August. So yeah, it's kind of a, I mean, we're grateful because they bring lots of money, but it is there is some noise. They're pretty good usually, though. about, they usually quit making noise by 10, 11 o'clock at night. They don't drive through town making tons of racket, so that's appreciated. Okay, now I'm looking at where else I need to put. So there is some dark right here, a dark window, and a dark window there. There. Now, there is maybe a little bit on this side. There's a shadow on this side of that rampart that runs all the way to the bottom. It comes all the way over here. Okay, and then it right there, kind of there. We'll see if that works. Then I want to come over here and start to lighten this up and do some reflection of the windows. See if we can do that. I should probably zoom in just a little bit. It'll be easier for y'all to see details. Guess I should have done that at the beginning, shouldn't I? Would have helped. Okay, so now I'm coming in here and I want to do, this is the window, kind of the screen or the pane or whatever is reflecting light there, and blow it. Windows. Some people are just so good at architecture. I am not. I think because it takes such strong it really takes strong drawing skills and strong not only drawing skills, but what am I trying to, like precision, like it's got to be so precise. And that's a completely different thing. Like some people have just a natural precision in there and a, what do you call it? Like their their natural steadiness of hand, I think that is very precise. So I don't know. So now I need to kind of do something like that. I'm not sure. I think it's too light against this background. Maybe, maybe not. It is feeling a lot better to me than it did prior. Now, I'm making this up a little bit. We're getting there, huh? See how much time it takes? I mean, once it's done, then it's really worth it, but my goodness. Ooh. And then you just have to do lots and lots of layers of various, as it dries darker. Yeah, it is training your eye. Well, and you know this like from the work you do, like it's training your eye to what details do you see, what details do you decide to include, and then what details do you decide to omit. Um, that's the challenge. Now, what I want to do is kind of create this light yellowish color that is very diffused, that is kind of the bright reflection on the rocks, and want to go in again and establish this. There. And we want to do the same there. And maybe there. And we'll mix in some more white. Thank you, Bob. It's getting there. A lot of detail work. A lot of detail. Okay, and then over here we kind of have this side of this rock that is I'll do just a little bit of brown, same light color, but then we'll come over. And then now, what is... The closer to the middle of the painting, the more kind of clear detail we want. Then the outside, this can be a little more abstract because I'm not going to paint all those like people and whatever down there. But oh, sorry, somebody yell at me if I go out of frame again. I'm just putting some of this detailed, not detail, but like suggestion of these rock formations. And what I want to do is then I want to add a little more brown to this. It's still a very light color, but we shift a little less yellow and a little more brown. As we go. Because it's a little less just do a variety of these. So then we do some like this. I'm catching up on comments. Thank you. Oh, that's what I hope. I mean, I want it to be realistic, but I really want to, I want it to evoke a certain feeling of grandeur, that you feel when you go there. Thank you, Suzanne. That is so kind. That is so kind. Okay, now I want to take, again, this brown and the blue, create our shadow color again. That dark. And reestablish some of this. Hi, Evelyn. Thank you. Thanks for joining the live stream. I appreciate your kind comments. So encouraging to have you here. I appreciate it. Okay, now let's come in on this side and reestablish this strong shadow line so that will give us, again, we're creating illusions. So we want a solid line that tells us, oh, this is a man-made structure, not a, because there's a lot of organic structures around and you want it to read this part is man-made, obviously. Okay, and then we want to come in over here. Let me put in the once I put in the, now this shadow area over here, I want to start building from the bottom base of this. This kind of goes, this shadow goes like that, and then it comes over. There's shadows in there. Mix, mix, mix. Let's see if we can get shadows from, oh, it's too late. Want a little bit there. Okay. Only Fences Index. Follow my friend Steve, a wonderful lady I met a few years ago, Adrienne Deklar. Yeah, Adrienne's a pro. She's an expert. Her painting style and method is totally different and subject is totally different, but wow, is she great. Okay. Oh man. Whew, I'm sweating, y'all. Let me take a sip of water. All right. Now, I feel good about this wall. Mostly this. I'm probably going to add a little extra texture there. I'm not sure, like these, I think I just need to, I think you draw in some shadows, and then that helps define what's happening here. So that's what yeah, she's definitely someone to follow. Okay, a few shadows. Then I want to go in and add this. I'm going to turn, get some gray. We're going to put in, right by this wall is a building of some sort. I don't know what it is, but we are going to put it in just to kind of fill up this area. Then I'm going to take white and yellow and a bit of red. All right. We'll probably the next section, y'all, will be doing the detail of the wall, because then we'll have the whole kind of bottom section detailed. Then the abbey itself will be detailed, and the greenery around it, and then we'll be done. But you can see how long this is taking. So yeah, it's definitely an ongoing process. I wish it were faster, but it's just not. To do it so that it really looks good. I agree, Bobby. I am actually, and I'm probably going to bring you all in. I'm trying to figure out how to do this with more consistent YouTube content. Bobby's kind of a pro with that, but I'd like to find a way to share my development process, because the next several, probably months, I'm going to be working on developing my skill or pushing my skill and kind of my artistic vision for and doing some paintings from here in the Black Hills that are more like the canyons around where I live and the waterfalls around here. But I've been looking at different artists that I admire and trying to find artists that kind of the style I want. And I don't know if anybody knows Albert Bierstadt, but he was an American painter, kind of the, I call it the epic West, kind of Yellowstone and the Tetons and that type of thing. You probably would recognize his style if you looked him up. But I am, anyway, all that to say, I am looking for new artists in specific styles that I want to learn from. So I'm with you, Bobby. Finding a new artist, specifically when it's on a style that I want to learn more about. That is that's one of my goals, and I'd like to take you all through that process of developing those paintings, because I want to do kind of a series, but I'm not sure exactly how to do that. So we shall see. This is Mont Saint-Michel, and my French is not great, but Mount Saint-Michel. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site in northern France. Mont Saint-Michel. Mont Saint-Michel, the legend says that Archangel Michael met a priest there and ordered him to build an abbey for Saint Michael. The priest refused because of the daunting task of this monstrous island, and the difficulty of building on it. And so Michael put a finger to his forehead and poked a hole in his head, supposedly. I think sometimes historians or legends become legends for a reason. I don't know that we can count on that. But all that to say, the priest went back and decided to obey Saint Michael and build the first abbey, and the fortress was never conquered for over 1,000 years. Thanks, Suzanne. I'm here every Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So feel free to pop in anytime. I appreciate you joining. Good night. Have a great week. All right, guys, we have about 20 minutes left to wrap this up. I'm not sure exactly what to do more here, so I'm kind of letting it sit for a minute. I'll have to do more detail on this wall, and then this building right above this kind of hotel or whatever it is. So we'll just start going up the mountain, and probably again, like I said, the next will be the wall here, getting that so it looks real. But I'm happy with this, I think. And I'm happy with this. So actually, I'm wondering if I should call it a night at this point, just because I am feeling peaked, and like I said, we have been having a heat wave here, so maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do it. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap this one up a little early. Usually we do till 8 p.m., but I think I'm at a good stopping point. So I'm feeling my energy waning. It may be the heat. So let me zoom back out. Let me show you if from looking straight on, this is what the painting looks like. Let me get that glare out of your way. So that is Mont Saint-Michel. We did detail work right here, the wall, and reestablish some shadows and things. We'll put some brush there. But this is probably about 3 feet by 2 feet, I think. Actually, nope, I don't have a, well, I can give you a, yeah, I do. Just a second, I'll tell you. I think it's 2 by 3 feet. Let's look real quick because I have a yard stick. So it is, no, it's 30 inches by 24 inches. So not quite 3 feet. About what, 2.5 feet by 2 feet. So it's the largest painting I've ever done, though. So that's a challenge. Hi, Crizzy8. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate you joining us. Here's where wrapping up the live stream. I will continue to work on this and probably live streams in the near future. Usually every week I try to do a different painting, but this is what happens. I end up with piles of unfinished paintings laying around, more piles of unfinished paintings laying around, more piles of unfinished paintings laying. You get the point. So what I want to do, I think, is begin to work on some of these, and I may, on the live stream, actually do multiple live streams on a single painting that is larger. So I may do 1 week, I may just do the underpainting. The next week, I may just do, blocking in. We'll see how that pans out, but that's kind of where I'm going. I want to do some more kind of large landscapes, like I said, from here, but I want to spend a lot of time fleshing out and doing some sketches first. So I have my composition, I have my references, everything lined up. But that's the goal. So yeah, this is Mont Saint-Michel, and my intent is that when it is done, I'll be able to frame it. I'd like to frame it in a floating frame and hang it in my living room. So to remind me of my trip to Europe, it was a really incredible trip and kind of a life-changing trip. My first trip to Europe, so I think this painting will mean a lot over the years. All right, I am going to switch you all back to the main, not main, but to my camera here while I turn this one around, just so you don't get motion sick as I swing cameras. Then I will bid you adieu. Since we're painting France. All right. Yeah, so that's it. I want to say thanks again for joining me. You can follow me, as always, on Instagram at Stephen E. Rice. That's usually where I post progress photos, other things. My Instagram is all my art. Sometimes in my stories, I'll post things that are personal. Like the other night, there was a doe deer walking up the middle of Main Street with her fawns, and I happened to catch a video of that. So you may get a little bit of mountain life on Instagram stories, but the Instagram feed is dedicated totally to art and to my art process. So you can be confident following there if you find that of interest. You can also subscribe on YouTube and follow these live streams, as well as any other content I produce about my painting process, about what I am learning. So that's something I'm thinking that I really want to start producing, but produced videos just take a lot of time, editing, etc. But it's really helpful for people I know. That's how I started. So I'm appreciative for the generosity of artists all across the internet that put their work out there as an example and provide tips and tricks. I'm always learning. So that's where you can find me. That said, again, I'm here 6 p.m. Mountain Time every Monday night for the Paint Party live stream. And we will see you next Monday. Yeah, should be fine next Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Until then, I want to wish you a wonderful evening and a great week. Take care and good night, everybody.